Okay. I will stop listening to Yaya. Oh, but it's so good. I can't stop listening to it. Okay, I'm sorry. That's not what we're here to talk about. And I know what you're thinking. Sarah, you said your next video was going to be a very late February wrap-up. I know. But I had an even better idea for how to do the February wrap-up, so that's coming a little bit later. And I want to talk about something else today, and that is the Bergman Brothers, because the final book in the series, Tears, comes out today. If you're watching it when it comes out, and everyone say hi to Editor Sara for the shit I'm about to put her through, because it's Saturday and there's not much time for her to get this done. So everyone give it up to Editor Sara for powering through, because she will. Wow, I'm in such a weird mood. I should have started with an introduction. Okay, hi, my name is Sarah and I go by A Bookish Beginning on every single platform you can possibly think of. This is going to be very similar to the Veronica Speedwell video in that beginning is going to be a little bit of a rundown of the series, just talking about it, what to expect, why everyone should read this series, because I am obsessed. And then we'll get a vlog called the Viggo vlog, because your girl had to read Viggo's book in one sitting. Your girl may have stayed up until 4 a.m. the night before she was supposed to get up early and, you know, go take pictures of her sister getting proposed to. But you know, it's fine. I was fine. I powered through. We're good. I survived. So part 2 of this video will be the Viggo vlog, and part 3 will be a ranking, a rundown, me talking about what I love about this series. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what is The Bergman Brothers by Chloe Liesel? What is this series? This is a romance series, interconnected standalones, each following a sibling in the Bergman family. Swedish-American family, the epitome of chaotic family, but they're also the best, and I love them. There are 7 siblings from top to bottom, oldest to youngest. Should I show you their book? Okay. This is gonna be chaos. Rein it in. The oldest is Freya. Her book is the 3rd one. Then it goes Axel, who is the 4th book. Then Ren, his book is the 2nd. Then Ryder, his is the 1st book. Then Viggo. Then Oliver. And last but certainly not least, why did I say certainly so weird? You have Ziggy Bergman. She is the youngest sister. Now that we've got the family tree out of the way, I'm going to give you a little bit of a rundown of each book, kind of what to expect. So, first book is Only When It's Us, and that follows Willa Sutter and Ryder Bergman. This is set in college, and it's a bit of a frenemies hate to love story. They're both incredibly grumpy. She is a soccer player and he is like grumpy lumberjack vibes, and they have a class together, and she comes in, she's a student athlete, and she comes in and she asks him for help with the notes. Now, what she does not know is that Ryder is deaf. I can't remember what happened, but he got sick, and then after that he, became deaf. And so when she's asking him for the help with the notes, he doesn't hear her. So she thinks he's just ignoring her. And then he kind of gets an attitude going towards her because he's like, why is this girl being so mean to me? Why does she hate me so much? He doesn't even realize that she doesn't know that he couldn't hear her. They are assigned by their professor to work on a project together, which, gets a little bit of forced proximity going, forces them to kind of get along, forces them to kind of get over their, animosity towards each other. Yes, this professor is meddling a little bit because he happens to be a part of the Bergman brood. He is Ryder's brother-in-law. One of the content warnings that you have to be aware of, each one has their own content warnings, but this one is main character Willa. She is preparing for and then experiences a parent death, so that's just a very emotional part of it, but it's written well. So that is the first book. Second book is Always Only You. This follows Ren Bergman, short for Soren. He is a professional hockey player, and his love story follows him and Francesca, or Frankie, who is the social media manager for his team. This one is, she is very grumpy, where he is very sunshine. I don't know, I just eat it up. I love when she's grumpy. I love it. And when he's sunshine. I love a cinnamon roll. I love a cinnamon roll. So this has a workplace romance. Frankie is autistic and she has rheumatoid arthritis. And there is also a not so secret Shakespeare club, which is just adorable. And I love this one because Ren is just the absolute cutest. Okay, the third book, Freya and Aiden. Aiden is the professor, the meddling professor from the first book. Now this one is a marriage in crisis. So there is angst, there is tension, there is a family vacation in which they're trying to pretend like all is normal. And don't let me forget, there is groveling, and these two are also in therapy. I love when characters go to therapy to sort out their shit. I'm about to sneeze. Damn it, went away. I love when characters go to therapy to kind of sort out whatever issues they may be having. So I really actually enjoyed seeing Freya and Aiden in couples therapy together. So obviously you have a professor, male main character, who also has generalized anxiety disorder, and then a curvy physical therapist, female main character. So a lot of good stuff going on in this book. Why is my funky buzzing? And this one is really where you get a great taste of the meddling family. Viggo really starts to shine in this book, and you start to realize, oh, I should be looking out for him. I am ready for his book. He is an absolutely amazing supporting character throughout most of the series. I don't know how much he is in the first two books. Starting with this book, you're really like, oh, I get it. I get the Viggo hype because he is just so fun. There's chaos. There is a prank that goes horribly awry, but it's kind of hilarious. Next, With You Forever. This is Axel's book. Axel is the second oldest, and this is following Axel and Rooney. Rooney is Willa's best friend. You meet her in the first book. So there's little breadcrumbs of being like, oh wait, there's something that could happen between those two. So I just love that when you can see like the buildup where you see like, oh, wait, okay, a little bit, especially in book 3. There's a moment in book 3. Oh, so good. So this is following Axel and Rooney. This is a marriage of convenience, which is so much fun. He needs to get married to gain access to his inheritance from some uncle or something like that. This is extreme grumpy sunshine. She is the epitome of sunshine. He is very grumpy. He's autistic and he's also an artist. You've got forced proximity, and then she has IBS. So once again, coming in with the chronic illness, disability representation, which is kind of like something you will always find in Chloe Lisa's books. And I wrote that there is enough pining in this one to fill the woods outside the A-frame. Another thing you will find in each of these books, there is a family A-frame that pops up that they spend time in every single book. It's where the banging happens. They're always banging at the A-frame. Anyway, moving on. The next book is Everything for You. So this one has a bit of a time jump. You're starting to get to the younger Bergmans. This follows Oliver and Gavin. They are co-captains on their professional soccer team. Gavin is the veteran soccer player who's kind of on his way out. So that's a lot of complex feelings he's dealing with related to that. And Oliver is the rising star. His career is just starting out. He is the rookie sensation. So that's kind of an interesting little dynamic where Oliver is filling the spot that Gavin once had, and he does not know what to do about that. This is another extreme grumpy sunshine. Oliver is very happy, very sunshiny. Gavin is very, 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 very grumpy, and he does not know what to do with Oliver. They are also neighbors, and they can't really stand each other very much. Like, their personalities don't get along. Oliver's like, why the fuck can't we be friends? And Gavin's like, no, we can't be friends. And it's just so good. And then in this one, Oliver also has anxiety, and he has a couple on-page panic attacks, I believe. And this also has some pretty good Ted Lasso vibes. Like, read it and try and tell me that Gavin does not have Roy Kent energy. I dare you. It's not possible. But I adore this one. I love all of them. But I don't know. I love Oliver and Gavin. I think they're so cute. I love seeing the moments when the super grumpy one kind of thaws a little bit. And there is a character in this book who really experiences Gavin's soft side. Outside of the relationship, of course, there's just a really cute bond between him and one of the characters in these books. So I just love it. Next is If Only You. This follows Ziggy, or Sigrid, who is the youngest, and Sebastian, who is Ren's teammate on the hockey team. In this book, Ziggy, she is a character who has autism, and he gets a celiac diagnosis. And Ziggy is a professional soccer player. Something I really like about this one is the crossover between the two professional sports, because not only do you get them going to each other's games, which is great, you also have kind of an added element of angst or pining because they keep trying to spend time together, but they can't because their schedules are pulling them apart. And then when they come back together, it's just so much better because they're like, oh my God, I've missed you so much, blah, 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 blah. But I just kind of love that dynamic. I haven't read much where the sports are crossing over. I've read a lot in the same sport, but when they're crossing over, it's kind of fun. So what else is this about? This is kind of like a good girl, bad boy type of relationship. They start off with a fake friendship to rehab his image and kind of like tarnish hers a little bit. You know, being seen out with a good girl will make him look better, but being seen out with a bad boy will kind of, you know, take her off of this good girl pedestal. But the thing with this fake friendship is that literally, like, I don't know, 30 minutes into it, they've already got this insane chemistry and sexual tension going on. It's amazing, and I love it. So this is kind of like a friends to lovers, really just like, especially Sebastian, he's like working through this trauma that he has, and I kind of just am obsessed with it. Just the way it is executed. Last and certainly not least, we have the newest and final I'm genuinely emotional. Newest and final book in the series, finally getting Viggo's story, kind of the character who has been the mastermind behind all these relationships and making sure they stick together and like helping the guys sort out their issues. You finally get his story, and he is such a hopeless romantic. He loves reading romance books. He's always trying to foist his romance books onto everyone. In this book, you find out he is opening a romance bookstore, which I just love. And leave it to the hopeless romantic romance reader who owns a romance bookstore to fall in love with the thriller writer who does not believe in happy endings. Oh, such a great dynamic. So that's right. This is another one where she is grumpy and he is sunshine. And I don't know, there's something about this one, I don't know if it's recency bias, that hits so hard. This is also a roommates to lovers. They happen to be living together for a time. We also have Viggo, who just seems to collect some furry friends throughout the book. Obviously, he falls first, and he falls pretty hard. He doesn't really know how to wrap his head around how he feels about her, but it's very obvious that he falls first. And then in this book, Tallulah has, that's her name, I never said her name. Tallulah has type 1 diabetes, and he has ADHD. Anyway, why should you read this series, aside from the fact that it is amazing and I said so? Well, I have a couple reasons. I think Chloe Lisa does a really, really, really good job at writing opposites attract type love stories. I mean, I eat every single one of these books up. I read almost every single one of them in one sitting. Like, you're gonna be hooked on these love stories, on these characters. She also has a lot of representation when it comes to characters with disabilities or characters who are neurodivergent, which I really enjoy. I think it's really important to have those characters. And I really love how a lot of the characters in this book, particularly the love interests, the non-Bergman love interests, they really, they have like a lot of trauma that they're healing from. So I really like the journey to healing and just like kind of finding love through that. And it's just so good. I cannot put into words how much I love this series. I am the book fairy in my household, so I have been, leaving the books in the series on my mom's nightstand every so often. She is on Axel and Rooney's book right now. So, yeah. Okay, so now we are transitioning into the Viggo vlog. So, enjoy. Transition. It's time. His plants are named after romance authors. Oh my gosh. I love him. It's currently 1 a.m. I'm about this far into the book. And is it a relatively important day tomorrow? Yes. Do I have to get up earlier than I normally do on a weekend? Yes. Is that going to stop me from continuing with this book? No. Viggo gets it. Do you see what I am seeing? He gets it. Just when I thought I couldn't love him anymore, he is like me. We would be best friends, guys. It's getting close to 3 o'clock. Am I full sending it to the end? Am I full sending it to the end? Maybe. What is sleep? Oh, Rooney's the perfect person to talk to her. Oh, Will is there too. Oh my god, they're all there. I'm gonna cry. Oh, that's so cute. Gavin hugged him. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, that was good. That was good, Mr. Bergman. I'll give you your 10s for that one. Here. Oh, Pandora. My girl. Pandora, I love that one. That's his favorite. Last chapter, I don't think I'm ready. Okay, so we are back after finishing Only and Forever. I'm going to talk about this one a little bit just because give a little bit of my thoughts, a little bit of wrap up before we get into the ranking of the series. I utterly adored it. I knew I would love Viggo as a character, but I didn't realize how much he would be like a soul character for me because I related to him so much throughout the book and I just loved it. I loved the she's grumpy, he's sunshine in this. I think that was done so well. These two had such insane chemistry and I just loved it. And the further you get into the series, you obviously get all the couples, you get like just the family all together. And so I loved seeing that. Easy 5 stars, stayed up until 4 a.m. reading it, obsessed. Sad it's over, but this was everything I wanted it to be and more. We're about to get into the ranking of the series, so you know what that means. We need the whiteboard. It's not even raining, and I'm getting a flood advisory.
A few moments later.
Oh my god, it's pouring! Behind me, next to me, we have my ranking of the series. Now, I feel like I need to emphasize here that even if a book is lower on this ranking, if I were making a tier list of every single book I've ever read, all of these would still be in the top tier. So just bear that in mind if you're like, but why is that one so low? This is like elite. These are all number 1 in my heart, but you have to have a ranking somewhere, which means there's gonna be a book that comes in last. And in this instance, it's Only When It's Us. I'm sorry, Willa and Ryder. I'm sorry. I apologize. I loved Willa and Ryder. I loved Willa and Ryder a lot more than I was expecting to. Being introduced to the Bergman Brothers series, everyone on Bookstagram talks about book 2. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Frankie and Ren, Frankie and Ren, Frankie and Ren. And I'm like, okay, Frankie and Ren, because after reading Well Matched, when I'm looking for more She's Grumpy, He's Sunshine, Frankie and Ren comes up. But the way my brain works is like, okay, this is a series, I have to start from the beginning, or else I'll start from like book 2 and then never read book 1, because that's the way my brain works. So I've always been like, okay, I'm going to read Only When It's Us, but really only so I can, you know, have the framework to read Always Only You. So when I started Only When It's Us, I was like, wait a damn minute. I'm seeing the vision. I was so floored at just how phenomenal that book was. And I'm talking like this and you're like, Sarah, how is it at the bottom of your ranking if it's just so phenomenal? And the main reason for that is it's one, the saddest of all the books, because like I said, Willa is preparing for and experiences the death of a parent. So that's just very sad to me. And I don't like reading sad books. I don't like that, even though it's done very well. The other reason is because it's the first book in the series, you get a little bit less of the Bergmans. And one of the things that shines about this series outside of the love stories is the dynamic between the family. So since this is the one that's introducing the family, you really don't get a lot of the dynamic that stands out in the rest of the series, which is why it's at number 7, but I still love and adore it with all my heart. The next one on this list is With You Forever. That's Axel and Rooney's story, book 4, and I don't know, this just felt right. This felt like it fit. There was a lot that I really loved about it. I loved the dynamic between Axel and his brothers when they pop up. I thought that was really good. And obviously, I love a grumpy sunshine. I love finally seeing these two get together. And I loved the furry friends. So yeah, I really like this one. I just like the other ones more. Next one, Always Only You, the bookstore darling, the one that everyone talks about. And yeah, it's good. I love the dynamic between Ren and Frankie. I love a cinnamon roll hero, and he was just adorable. Next on this list, now 3 and 4 was really hard. I opened up like the ranking as I had it, and I was like, what? I put Ever After Always above Everything for You? What? And really, these two are tied. These two are neck and neck because I adore Everything for You. I'm going to get into this when I'm talking more about like what I love about the series, but I love Gavin's journey specifically because he kind of has to sort himself out a little bit. He wants to be better for Oliver. He wants to sort out the things that he is struggling with so that him and Oliver can be together forever. And once again, Viggo is fucking hilarious in this book. Viggo and Oliver are kind of like, they're very close in age, so they're very like this. So there are some really, really funny scenes between the two of them. I absolutely freaking adored it. Ever After Always, like, maybe is like that much higher because I loved the angst of it. I think it was a good balance between the tension of a marriage in crisis, but also like the sweet moments of groveling and sorting their stuff out. And like I said, this is really where you start getting the family dynamic in true fashion. I think it really starts in Ren's book. Oh my god, it's pouring. Anyway, where you really get the family dynamic, especially Viggo. I said in my January wrap-up that this book made me realize, like, I said in my January wrap-up that this is the book where I was like, oh, so this is what you mean when you say you're excited about Viggo's book. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot of fun family antics. There's a lot of good groveling moments with the tension of, you know, the marriage in crisis, which is why it's just a teeny tiny bit higher than Everything for You. Next, If Only You. This is the book before Only and Forever. This is Ziggy and Sebastian's story, and I just like, I don't know if I've ever read a book with two characters that I want to protect more with my life than these two. I want to put them in my pocket and keep them safe because they're so cute. I love kind of just them leaning on each other to sort out some of the things they're struggling with. Sebastian goes through a somewhat similar journey to Gavin in that he's like, okay, I need to get to where I can have a functional relationship because I want that with Ziggy. So I just love that. I think that's amazing. I love the dynamic between Sebastian and Viggo in this book, especially towards the end. I love seeing them go to each other's games, but specifically seeing Sebastian at Ziggy's games being immediately brought into the Bergman fold. And I'm going to talk more about that concept a little bit later, but that really shines the most in that book. And of course, this is not recency bias. I tried to be very conscious of recency bias, but Only and Forever is number one. Why? Viggo is my soul character. I connected with him so much more than I was even expecting to. So I'm like, I get you. And I think a lot of people who love reading romance will understand Viggo on such a deep level. I think the she's grumpy, he's sunshine dynamic shines. Like, I love it in Always Only You. I love it even more in Only and Forever. I thought that was so good. And then the same thing, you know, the later you get to a series, especially this last book, you're going to be getting more of all the characters together and more of their interactions and, you know, seeing the past couples all happy together. And so, obviously, I'm like, yeah, I love it. I love seeing it. I love just seeing this family together. So that's my ranking. Did I offend any Bergman fans out there with this ranking? We're gonna round out this video. It's not like a ranking of top 10 moments. It's kind of like just like highlights and things I really like about the series, things that stand out to me, because in Veronica Speedwell, I did top 10 moments. This one, I don't know if I can because I love it all so much and I just am obsessed with it all and I don't want to spoil by sharing certain scenes, but I just love it. I'm apparently becoming a feral gremlin about how much I love this series. And this is gonna be probably a little chaotic, and I'm gonna try to keep some of them vague. Obviously, each love story is so good, is so cute, each stands alone, like, well, like there is none where you're like, okay, well, this one's kind of similar to this one. No, they're all good. Viggo's meddling. I love Viggo's meddling. I love a meddler. Aiden's a bit of a meddler too, especially in the first book. The whole family likes to meddle, but it's driven by Viggo, especially in the third book, even though sometimes it ends in disaster, it's still fun. This one is a very niche, very specific moment, and I'm gonna actually tie this in. I'm gonna tie all these three in because the non-Bergman love interests are very special to me. I don't know, I just love the love interests for the Bergmans because they're all flawed. They're all coming from some sort of trauma, some sort of thing that they haven't sorted out. And a lot of times they have not come from a loving family dynamic that is present in the Bergmans. I just kind of love to see them be brought into the fold. And it's so cute. Once they open themselves up to being brought into the fold, it's so cute. It's so heartwarming. They joke about it in the last book, but it's just so cute. I love seeing characters who haven't experienced a loving family dynamic be exposed to it. In Ziggy and Sebastian's book, like, it's like immediate, and Sebastian's like, what the fuck is this? What is this genuine love and affection? And I love it. It's so cute. It's sad that they haven't experienced it. Your heart breaks for them that they haven't experienced such a loving family as the Bergman family, but it's also so cute to see them brought into the fold. And so, in that specifically, in Oliver's book, there is an amazing moment between Willa and Oliver. Oliver is kind of having a crisis over how he feels about Gavin, and he's like, I don't know if Gavin wants the same thing, or I don't know if he's like, I don't know what to do about this. And Willa, who is like the OG girly, she was very much not wanting to have any kind of relationship. She was very closed off in the first book, very much not wanting a relationship. And so there's a conversation between the two of them, and she kind of provides some insight into Gavin's character because she understands Gavin. Even not really knowing him very well, she understands who he is because she's like, I was that person. He's not used to this dynamic. He's not used to this happiness, and you just have to let him get there. And it's such a good conversation. I started crying. In that same vein, the characters, the love interests, I don't know if it's all of them, but a lot of them do find themselves going to therapy because they want to get better. They want to get over or try to start coping with or try to start figuring out their various traumas, their various things that make it hard for them to open up and be vulnerable, but they want to do it so they can be with their Bergman. And I just love that. That is the one constant throughout this book, is like there is a character who will be like, I want to get better for this person, for themselves, but also for this person because they love their Bergman so much. And me too. This is another little random one. I talked about it a little bit, but I kind of love how Sebastian and Viggo's dynamic evolves without getting too spoilery, but like seeing where they're at throughout this book, but then seeing like how they bonded, how they had bonded in this book was just really kind of cool. I was like, what do you mean y'all are kind of besties now? I just loved that. That's why I say you need to read these series from the beginning so then you understand the nuances to character interactions, to the relationships. It's gotta be read from the beginning. This is another kind of specific one. I love the charades game in book 3, which obviously does a lot to hint at Rooney and Axel's relationship, and also the meddling in the charades game. Just the charades game at the end of the 3rd book is very entertaining and does a great job of setting up the next book in the series. The Bergman Brothers Summit. I don't know if this happens before the 3rd book. It kind of shifts who calls the summit, but it's basically, this is a summit of Bergman brothers where, you know, they will all swarm upon the male love interest of any given book and be like, okay, let's sort out what's going wrong in your relationship and fix it. I don't know if I've already kind of said this, but I really just love seeing the past couples and the family members being incorporated as supporting characters in each book, because it's always done so well. Whether it's like Ren and Sebastian's friendship, which is really cute, seeing like Viggo and Oliver's dynamic in both of their books because they're like the twins. But yeah, it's just seeing how past couples, all those characters have an impact and how they shine in supporting roles. And that's why you need to read it from the beginning so it will hit the same way. Same thing, I've already said this sort of, but it's a strong found family dynamic. So good. Oh, it's so good. I just love it. I have a section for favorite characters, and the singular bullet in that section is all of them. There is not a single character, not a single like main / supporting character I dislike, but I love all the characters. I love them so much. It's such a good, freaking good series. I don't know how coherent that all was. The moral of the story is that this is another series that is a must read, that you have to read. Like, I don't care if you don't read romance. You do read now. You read it now because they are so good. They are emotional. They are romantic. They have so many layers and depth, and all the characters are so good. Like, outside of the romance, there's amazing character dynamics. It's just all so dang good. And you need to read it. I did, in fact, get my hands, well, I have pre-ordered the Afterlight Bergman Brothers set. Where that's going to go in my room, I don't know. It's going to be a shrine. I'm going to have a shrine to the Bergman Brothers in my room. Why? Because I bought something that is truly ridiculous, but it reminded me of the Bergman Brothers, so I don't care. I bought a Lego A-frame cabin because it's the love shack in the Bergman Brothers, is they're always going to the A-frame, and this literally looks just like the A-frame in the book. The next thing I need to do is be able to make individual Legos for each Bergman. Is it a waste of money? Probably. Do I want to do it? Yeah. If you love amazing books, if you love amazing love stories, if you want to make me happy, go read the Bergman Brothers romance series. Read it. Drop what you're doing right now and start this book. So if you enjoyed this video and the chaos, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go read the Bergman Brothers and tell me which book is your favorite if you have read the series. And I will see you in the next one, which will actually include the February wrap-up. This is my baby. Oh, God. Yeah, I'll see you. Bye.